Hey everybody, so today I am going to be making 3 recipes, I hope. I got some videos uploading. It's a Sunday, it's super snowy. It's after we've moved the cattle across the highway in the hills. So I have this cookbook, Blueberries and Polar Bears, and from it I'm going to be taking the chocolate zucchini cake recipe. This book has been well loved. I actually bought it, I'm thinking back in 1994. I was in college in Calgary, and I live with my cousin and his wife, and they used recipes from that book quite a bit. And a zucchini quiche recipe. That one should have been put in plastic. That recipe came from Glenn's grandma Eileen. I miss her. And a pumpkin bread recipe that it says good, so thank goodness. We wouldn't want to make a recipe that wasn't good. Who would do that? Anyway, so pumpkin bread recipe, because we've harvested the pumpkins out of the garden and I accidentally broke the stem off one of them. So I'm going to be using it today. I'm gonna bring it in, take the seeds out. I'm gonna stick it in a steamer after I peel it, and gonna use those seeds. Yummy, gonna cook those. Kids aren't even home right now, so we get the seeds all to ourselves. And then I'm going to mash that up for the pumpkin bread recipe. So when it's not from a can, it takes a while. Anyway, I'll keep you posted on how everything is going. The first thing I'm going to do is grate the zucchinis. As you can see, the zucchinis from my mother-in-law's garden. My zucchinis are a little bit confused. I'm not sure. They think they're striped zebra zucchinis, maybe. I don't know. And then I have a few. These were supposed to be crookneck squash. I planted them super late, but I thought, well, I'd give it a try. And they didn't grow up to be very big, but they're gonna be delicious. So it's coming together. I got 3 times in the recipe. So I got a dozen eggs ready. I've grated all the zucchini. And I have everything in there except for a little bit of salt and some parsley. So I'm going to parsley 2019. And some Parmesan cheese. Lots and lots of stinky cheese. So I'm making a video. It's supposed to help me. Okay. Stinky Parmesan, and it's half a cup per recipe. So this is 3/4. So I need to fill this on the time. Perfect. Cup and a half. I struggle big time. Creating recipes, period. But when it comes to doubling them or tripling them, it's not because I can't do the math. It's just this funny learning thing that I have trouble with. It just says salt. So you know what? I'm going to use the other end of the spoon I'm gonna do that a few times, and that's gonna be perfect. Amount of salt. Parsley from our dehydrator thing. I grew myself starting in the winter time, actually. Getting a text from my children who aren't here saying, because my watch actually tells me, because I'm using my phone to record right now, my watch actually tells me who's texting me. It's a very kind of nice watch. It's a Fossil IQ watch. So that's fun. We're gonna whisk up this stuff, and I'm gonna put it in some pans. I just preheating the oven. I know I should have done that sooner, but I'm gonna use a variety of pans. Glass, probably tin, and maybe another glass one, 2 glass and tin. There's 3 recipes, so I can make it in 9x13s, or I can make it in 9x9s or 8x8s or whatever the heck it is I got. But anyway, I'm gonna make that happen right now. So here they are. Before they go into the oven, that one might be a tad full. I might spread some of it out in here because the Bisquick does cause it to rise a little bit. So the timer went off, and I'm gonna just test these guys to see how they're doing. I know my stove is a wee dirty, so, but it's beautiful, isn't it? Heartland series. Oh yeah, I don't even have to test it. You can see it's still jiggly. Yeah, this recipe, well, I know my oven is full, but that recipe always takes longer than I think it should. So in the meantime, I'm going to put the finishing touches on the chocolate zucchini cake. So imagine my surprise when I opened up the Fry's cocoa powder, and there was about a teaspoon in there. So it's going to be mostly chocolate chip topped zucchini cake, but it's still going to be delicious. And like the recipe says, there's no calories in the zucchini. I'd be happier if my phone was syncing to my watch, because I can also start my video with that. Okay, as promised, I have a pumpkin who lost its stem, and I did give this a wash. Some of the stuff here is just not coming off, so I'm going to be careful with that. So the plan is to take this pumpkin and turn it into, well, I have a recipe for a South African pumpkin stew, which is delicious. It's pumpkin and chickpeas, and you can put potatoes in there, and it's a vegetarian recipe, but in the past I have added chicken to it, but I like it just the way it is. Actually, I did that just to appease family members, because sometimes they don't want to be just vegetarians, and that's just fine. So, deliciousness inside of there. I'm gonna scoop that out and put it into a bowl, separate these seeds so that I can roast them. They'll be super yum on some granola, homemade oatmeal this week, and or on top of the pumpkin stew by themselves. Like, I could go on forever. And so what I'm going to do is read the recipe a little better, because you know me, I'm not fly by the seat of my recipe pants very well. Oh, and by the way, the chickens are going to be so happy with all this deliciousness. this. So first I'm gonna put it in here. But I have to go deal with that timer. I've been trying to cook these zucchini quiches, and I'm not sure in what world I wrote down that they'd be done in 20 minutes. I think maybe that's because I overfilled my oven, I overfilled my pans, and but you can see, where are we here? A couple on the stove. They're gonna be breakfast. It's almost 11 o'clock and I'm super hungry. But first, I'm gonna get those out of the oven if they're done. I'm gonna take the rest of this pumpkin apart and I'm gonna cut it into, like, I don't know, decent sized cubes. And I haven't decided. It's cutting pretty nicely, so I feel like it's not gonna be hard to peel. And then I'm gonna steam this pumpkin that I want to use for the pumpkin bread later. Okay, so that's what I'm up to. Okay, so this isn't peeling as well as I thought. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it into smaller pieces and I'm gonna stick it in a pot and steam it right now. So I got the pumpkin discombobulated. The chickens are gonna love this, num num. That's some fresh pumpkin for the stew I was talking about, or muffins, whatever, I don't know. Anyway, and here's the seeds. There isn't that many, but golly, look how huge those things are. They're massive. Anyway, Glenn bought this really cool book about saving seeds, so I'm going to ask him about saving 1 or 2 of these pumpkin seeds to grow these pumpkins again next year. And we're going to eat the rest, but it looks like maybe a couple's going to be a meal. Instant canned pumpkin.